Alright, normally I'd say a quick video, but this might be a little longer. I'm on PTR right now, and I just made a bunch of changes to the options UI, how things are laid out, tried to improve usability and making things more obvious, and adding little question mark icons where you can hover over for information. One of the changes is I switched all the pages to have this tab style. You might not know, but I added a preview system so it updates as you adjust the settings for each container's layout, and it has the icon, so it shows you the cooldown, the keybind text, and the stack count or charge count. Or the same thing. So as I update this, let's say I change the layout, it's going to update the cooldown text. If I change to thin outline, it updates bars. It's going to show you the bars. Cursor, it's going to show you the cursor bar. Adjusting the anchor will adjust it so you can see in real time where it's going to be in relation to your cursor. I renamed buffs to bars to be more accurate. I renamed CDM bars to CDM containers, and same thing under CDM containers. I named buffs to bars to be more accurate to what it is. I moved the layouts, the bar layouts, to the top, and it's pinned. As you can see, it stays at the top. So when you're adding abilities, you're just going to be adding them to your bar. So hopefully that's more obvious now. Custom is now shared across Essential Utility and Cursor. So instead of having to enter it in for each container, it's now shared. Removing it from one will remove it from all, so just be aware of that. Another thing I added is the not displayed now has its own rail section instead of being mixed in with the CDM section. Added these little hovers to give you information instead of having it listed up here, which is taking up space. So anytime you see a little question mark, you can hover over it and it'll explain. For auras and bars, because it changes to the PTR, this has become relevant. So now it's going to show you what's in your track buffs and what's in your track bars. So for auras, they have to be in your track buffs. So they have to be here for auras. Anything bar related, aside from ability bars. So anything for bars and duration bars has to be in your track bars. So that's why this is relevant. So if you see something in track bars, that means that you're good to put it on there and track it. If you see it in track buffs, that means it's not, and you're going to need to add it to the track bar section in Blizzard's CDM settings. And there's little information for this too. So each one gets its own little information. Ability settings, I changed to use the same style tab system at the top. Nothing else changed aside from that. Custom bars, I changed the editing. So what bar you're currently editing, it now stays pinned at the top. So if you're down here editing something and you want to make the exact change to maybe a sister bar, that if you have it set up like mine and you want them to be the same, you can just quickly switch between them instead of having to scroll all the way back up to select it. Ration bars, nothing's changed here except the fact that it now needs to be in your track bar section. If you don't put it in here, it's not going to track anything. Resources, nothing else has changed. Essential and utility are still agnostic, so you can put it in either category. It's fine. It's not going to care. Under layout, added a GCD swipe so you can do standard or reveal. I added darken on cooldown or blacked out on cooldown. Darken will just darken it. I can just show you real quick. So if I use an ability, this is blacked out. So that's blackout. So anytime an ability is completely on cooldown, it just goes completely blacked out. When blacked out is selected, it overrides darken. So if you just want darken, just unselect blacked out. And now when I use it, it's black everywhere except for where the swipe is happening. So as the ability comes back off cooldown, it'll start displaying the icon art again, but it'll still be darkened. If you wanted the cooldown numbers to change to a different color based on how much cooldown they have left, you can set that under general at the bottom, cooldown numbers. So I have it set to change to red at 5. You can do that however you want. That's controlled per container, so you can have different styles per container. Same thing with cursor. Cursor also has show only in combat. You can have it linger after combat for a set amount of seconds up to 10, and you can have it do hide abilities on cooldown. As you use abilities, they'll be removed from the bar, and it'll shift towards your mouse or your cursor, then come back as they come back off cooldown. Yeah, so as you can see, when I enter combat, the bars show up, the abilities show up next to my cursor, and as I use them, they disappear. And when they come back down off of cooldown, they'll come back, just like that. One more thing about duration bars. When you add an ability as a duration bar, like I said before, it needs to be in your track bars. So let's say I wanted to add post haste as a duration bar. So I could, let me just remove it from here real quick, just to demonstrate. And if I add it as a duration bar, it's going to add it to the screen. It's also going to automatically add it to the bar section. That's important because anything that's in this bar section hides the default Blizzard bar. So as you see, as I use it, it shows up. And if I try to remove it, I'm going to get a warning saying that it's being tracked by a duration bar, and removing it can stop the duration bar from working. Remove anyway. You can remove anyway. I don't suggest you do, but you can. Let's say I remove it anyway. The bar's still going to stay. It's still going to track. But you risk Blizzard's default bar showing up somewhere on the screen. And that goes for anything that's added as a duration bar. It's protected. To let you know. And when you remove a duration bar, it's going to give you the warning that it'll also remove it from the bar container. So if I remove post haste, it's going to remove it from the bar container. Then if you want to track it just as a Blizzard bar, you can do that. And yeah, that's about it, I guess.